Hey, everybody. Welcome to another In the Dark, in the Tent installment of Tales from the Trails, Adventures in Old Fashions. I realized a couple of things. One, why don't you guys tell me when I have stuff in my nose and I'm making these videos? I was going back through the one I made this morning and I've got a big old snot rocket stuck in my nose hairs because I haven't been able to groom myself decent for 2 months. Nobody ever says anything. You guys laughing behind my back? I bet you are. I mean, it is kind of funny. I don't have a mirror, so when I rewatch these videos is the only time I get a chance to see what I actually look like. And I'm looking pretty rough lots of days, apparently. So anyway, the second thing that I realized was I did not give Silverton nearly enough screen time for how neat of a little mountain town it is. So recap, I got caught in that storm, came down into Silverton to get dried out, warmed up, resupplied. I was going to resupply in Silverton anyway. That was my plan all along, but that storm just made me push those, 18 and a half, 19 miles to get into town when I was planning on coming in the next day. And then I took a full zero rest day there too. So by the time I caught the train out of town, I'd spent, a full day and 2 half days in the town. So I had a chance to look around quite a bit. And it's a neat place. Like I said, a lot of history. Blair Street is like their, historical downtown. And they got plaques on a lot of the buildings letting you know what it used to be when it was built. Really, really neat place. And I ran into the same problem, though, that I ran into in Creed. It's after the season, so a lot of places were already closed. There was, a couple of restaurants and like brew pubs, bars that I kind of wanted to check out because of the historical significance, not because they serve drinks, but they were already closed for the season. So it's one of those places that I'd like to go back to when everything's open, to visit some of those places I didn't get a chance to. But I came into town and I was going to stay at the hostel. So the trail guide lists that there's a hostel there. Cause it's, I'm going to get rid of these here, there. So, it's cheap. And I look around and I can't find it anywhere. So I stayed at this, Kendall Mountain Lodge. Well, it turns out it's the hostel. It's no longer a hostel. It's now like a hotel. And I was going to take video to show you guys. And I don't know why. I just spaced out and I didn't. So they took the hostel and they kind of like divvied it up, partitioned it out into rooms. So my hotel room was probably 10 foot by 10 foot cubed, and had one light switch right when you come in the door and just the one light in the room. It had 2 twin beds in it. It had a TV and a little fridge and, microwave and coffee maker and everything. So, it had everything it needed. And all I needed was a dry, warm, place to sleep and dry out. And it had a private bathroom and shower. But the bathroom and the shower were down the hall in separate rooms. So you walk down the hall, you hang a right, and my room was number 6. And at the end of the hall is a door that has a 4 on it. And on the right-hand side, the first 2 doors you come to have 7s on them. And then there's a door with a 6, and next to it another door with the 6. So your room key works on all 3 doors, so it's private, but it's not attached. So you open the one door and It's like a 3 foot by 5 foot closet with a toilet and a sink. And then you open the other door, and it's one of those 3 foot by 3 foot showers in a 3 foot by 5 foot closet. So they had taken like the communal like bathrooms and split them up. So everything had its own door, but it just wasn't attached to your actual room. So every time you had to every time I wanted to go to the bathroom or go take a shower, I had to walk out my door, lock it behind me, walk down the hall, hang a right, walk down that hall to use the bathroom or to take a shower. But it was a neat. I mean, it was neat, and I was gonna take a video and take pictures just because you guys had to see it to believe it. But so I got set up there, and then by the time I got kind of put together, warmed up, showered, got some clothes on. The guy at the hotel said that the only laundromat in town wasn't going to be open until Monday morning. So I pulled my old Johnny Cash and dug out my cleanest dirty shirt and went to get something to eat. And I went to that Natalia's because it's just down the block from where the hotel was. Had my old fashioned. That was definitely a highlight of the visit, was that drink. They did a good job. I wanted to congratulate and give compliments to the bartender, but by the time I was done eating, she had left. So I didn't get to, but the waiter said that she had made it and that he'd pass on the message. So I ate there, and then I'm like, well, it's still a little early and I'm still a little hungry. So I went to this place called Avalanche, and I ordered a pepperoni pizza to go to take back to the hotel. And then I had a beer while I was there. I will tell you though, these small mountain towns are pretty expensive. It was $8 for a pint of draft beer. Now it's a craft beer, but I ate at this other place one night. It's called the THEE Pits again. It was featured on that Guy Fieri show, Dives, Diners, and Drive-Ins. So they definitely promote the fact that they were on the show. It was good. I had a pulled pork sandwich and some baked beans as a side. And I also paid $8 for a bottle of Blue Moon. So yeah, not like back home. So that was kind of a little bit of a sticker shock. But the food was good. But yeah, just kind of be prepared if you're gonna have some drinks. They're a little pricey. It's not like back home. So kind of wandered around town, took some pictures. Like I said, neat old buildings, the old brick and the architecture, structural style. They still have sidewalks that are wooden planks, like on the historical, side of it. But, a lot of neat, antique shops like you'd expect, like in the Dell. It reminded me a lot of the Dells, just without the t-shirt shops. But there were places that sold t-shirts and, more of the souvenir kind of things. But I ate at this High Noon restaurant, and that was good. Had burger and fries and onion rings, and came back. It's like a 2-part restaurant, and it's a long, narrow, like takes up like almost half the block, but it's not very deep. And on one side is like where you order your, the food to go, and the other side was ice cream, and I really wanted some ice cream. So I went back later, and they were closed at 4. It's like, that's the thing, is like everything closes like so early. It was on a Sunday and closed at 4. But luckily I got there like just after 4, and the guy that one of the owners, he let me in and dished me up some ice cream to go. So I got my ice cream. And then I just kind of walked up and down the main street eating my ice cream and just kind of, window shopping, checking some things out. A lot of art galleries, which was kind of neat. A lot of, artisan stuff. They make authentic pottery, So yeah, a neat place. And then on breakfast, I was really craving like a big hearty breakfast. So there's this Kendall Mountain Cafe. Again, they're only open till like 2:30 in the afternoon. But I ate there and I had my biscuits and gravy, and then I had a couple of over easy eggs and some toast as a extra on the side. That was good. It really hit the spot. It was definitely what I needed. Um, didn't get a chance to try a couple of places. I went back to that Avalanche because they had like a ginger whiskey drink that I wanted to try, but of course they were closed at 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. The sign said 9, but somebody had taken like the you got the pad for writing orders out, and they had like taken 4 of them and taped them to the door. It said closed at 3 today. And so I don't know, maybe staffing issues. Everyone's got those things going on. So I didn't get a chance to try that whiskey drink. And then Monday I loaded up my pack and checked out of the hotel and had to wait until 2 o'clock for the train to leave. So I kind of wandered around town and explored a little bit more and kind of took it all in. And then, yeah, I got on the train and, like I said, the conductor was awesome. Didn't charge me, just let me train hop. And so I was sitting there in the car and, struck up a conversation with the couple of ladies sitting behind me. Of course, the one's from Wisconsin and is a Packer fan, lives in Minnesota now. But she helps maintain one of the trails, like the North Country Trail in northern Minnesota. So we got talking backpacking and, kind of what I was doing and what they had done. They'd been down to the Grand Canyon. And the brakeman for the train, when I got in, he goes, we'll come get you when it was time to get off. So he comes up beside me and taps me on the shoulder and he goes, "Sir, you need to come with me." And so I get up and the lady's like, what? And I'm like, "Oh, they're kicking me off the train." And they're like, what? And so I walked back, I grabbed my pack and they slowed the train down. And yeah, I asked the guy, I'm like, "So do you stop or I just kind of jump off?" And he goes, "No, we stop." And they actually checked out the other side from where I was to see if there was anybody waiting to get on the train, because you can, jump off trail there and stand around. And when the train comes by, if you're standing in the right spot, they'll stop and pick you up. I don't know how much they'll charge you, but you can definitely get a ride to where you need to go from trail, from the trail into town, not just from town into the trail. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to, give you guys a little bit more information on Silverton. Like I said, it was one of those things where I spent enough time there and really enjoyed it. And I wanted to, kind of give you guys a little bit more detail on that rest day and kind of how things went. But, yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to add in and share. So hope you guys are having a good night, and I will be seeing some of you very soon. I'm coming down to the end here. Things go well, just a couple of days, and I'll be in Durango. So fingers crossed.